Oh my god, he's so romantic. Which I don't know why I would feel bad because baby, I was asleep. What? Throws me onto the bed, gets on top of me, holds my hands down. I don't know. Please, sir, please. He's fucking crazy. Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a story time and doing my makeup as well. Okay, so let's start off by setting the scene, okay? Everything that I say is the truth and nothing but the truth, okay? Like, I'm not a liar. And if you think that, this is a story about the time that a man tried to kill me in my own apartment. And we are not taking this lightly because it really traumatized me, okay? This story started about 3 years ago. This guy followed me and we actually had several friends in common. Then I realized, oh, this guy has like girls that I went to middle school with, because my high school was in a whole nother district, like on the whole other side of town compared to my middle school, because I went to my zoned middle school. So I was like, oh, maybe he went to my zoned high school and he just like knows people from the area that I live in, so it means he's like from this area. Oh, okay. And you know, I was like, oh, he's kind of cute, so let me just follow him back. And I think like a week or two later he DM'd me and he was like, hey, I know you don't know me, but I found you on Instagram and you're beautiful, and I'm actually in the Marines and there's a Marine ball coming up in September. I know it's a little late notice, but I want to know if you would like to be my date. And I was like, huh? I don't really know you like that. What are you talking about? I was a little weirded out. At this time in my life, I like only went on a couple dates because I didn't really trust men, because I had only gotten out of my relationship with my ex for like a year and a half, and I just wasn't into like dating like that. I like to go out with my friends a lot, but I did not date around like that. So when I got that DM and I showed my sisters were like, you should go, like it's a ball, it's a Marine ball or whatever, and like you're cute and like you can dress up and just see how it goes. And I'm like, but it's kind of weird, like I don't know him, and meeting him for the first time at a ball, at a Marine ball, like I've never been around those type of people. There's gonna be too many men. And I technically was free that weekend, but I did not want to go, but I didn't want to mess up any opportunity that I had with him. So I was like, oh, I have a Friendsgiving planned that weekend, so I actually can't go to the ball. I didn't feel bad for lying because I mean, I don't know you like that and I don't want that to be the first time that I like meet you. He was like, yeah, no worries, like maybe we can plan something. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And we didn't talk, right? 6 months passed by, but in between those 6 months, like he was always liking my stories, always like, I don't even fucking know, you know what guys do, he was doing that. And I was like, but like I'm not gonna DM first. One day he DMs me and he's like, let's go out, but I already had plans with my girlfriends, and like my friends always come before guys, you know. So I was like, oh, hold on, it's girls night, sorry. And he was like, dang, like this is the only weekend I had off and I was in town, because apparently he lived like an hour away from Houston. So I was like, well maybe we can like hang out after my girls night. I don't know why I said that. I was with my girlfriends and then we ended up at some random house in downtown, and I wanted to go home. So I was like, hey, are you free? Can you take me home? Because I don't want to pay no Uber. When we got to my apartment, he opened my door and I was like, oh my god, he's so romantic. I hung out with him again to where I realized the door doesn't work from inside. He was not trying to be romantic, baby. The door does not open from the inside. Somebody has to open it from the outside. That was crazy. I really thought I had it like that. So at this point, me and him, we had established that we were like into each other and we had a little thing going on, okay? He would come over, we would hang out, you know what I'm saying? Looking back at the story and just putting the pieces together, I now realize that it was basically like a situationship. It was never giving we're going anywhere. But you know what? I'm glad it didn't. We liked each other, but I think we hung out a total of like 2 to 3 times, okay? This is a very critical detail, okay? From the start, he approached me. Can we establish that from the start? He would always approach me. And I liked him, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah. The second time we hung out, we were talking about how we used to look like when we were younger. Come to find out, guys, me and him, we went to the same middle school. And he started saying, oh, I remember you. I remember you. And I'm like, you remember me? Yeah, I remember you. You don't remember me? And I'm like, no, what did you look like when you were in middle school? Like, I don't remember you. And he was like, I used to wear big ass glasses, and I used to have like an afro, but not a regular afro, one of them standing afros. And I was like, huh? Wait, you were what? Show me a picture right now. And he pulls up the picture, and I'm like, that was you? This little boy was a nerd, such a little nerd. And then he told me, he's like, I remember one time you bullied me. And I'm like, maybe I did, but like, that's not me today, okay? I'm sorry, but that was not me, for real. Subtle foreshadowing. Maybe that was him trying to get back at me, bullying him. Who knows? So after knowing who he was, it kind of creeped me out, but then also it made me feel kind of safe about like who I was bringing into my home, who was I hanging out with. So I was like, oh, like, I think he's a good person to be around. Like, I knew him from middle school, technically, like, and I've never heard anything bad about him. So me thinking like that I'm good. One of the times that he had came over previously, I always kept a cup of water in my room because if you know me, you know I'm a very thirsty girl. Like, I'm always dehydrated, so I always keep water around. So one time, I think it might have been like the second or third time that he came over to my place, and I was like, oh, by the way, I set a cup of water next to your side of the bed. And he was like, what did you put in it? I said, put in it? He's like, yeah, why would you have a cup of water ready for me? And I said, so I don't have to get up later. Like, you're welcome. And he was just like, I don't know, that's kind of weird. And I said, look, when you're thirsty, you can get up and get your own cup of water. Like, what the hell am I gonna put in it? I just thought that was very weird. I should have known from that moment on that he was like a little weird. I started not going out as much out of nowhere. Like, I started realizing like I don't like going out as much anymore. I don't want to go out anymore. I don't want to like do anything crazy. Like, I'm just gonna start staying in now. I remember it was like a flip of a switch. My frontal lobe was developing. That weekend, he texted me, but I was asleep, right? He texted me like, what are you doing? And then he called me, and I woke up, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And then I was like, oh, I'm sleeping. And he's like, it's really early. And I was like, yeah, I don't feel like doing anything this weekend. Like, I'm just staying in. And he's like, let me come over. And I was like, I'm really tired. I don't want to do anything. Like, I just want to sleep. And he's like, come on, please. I'm like 10 minutes away. Didn't you live an hour away? Meaning he already had in his mind like to come to see me. So I'm just like, at this point, I kind of felt bad, which I don't know why I would feel bad, because baby, I was asleep. Like, I prioritize sleep. But I kind of felt bad that he was like, I'm 10 minutes away. So I was like, okay, fine, sure, come. I texted my best friend. I was like, oh, so-and-so texted me, and he's saying he's gonna come. He's 10 minutes away. I hope he doesn't think we're doing anything tonight, because I'm not dealing with him tonight. Like, I genuinely want to go to sleep, which I don't even know why I said yes to him in the first place. I should just like stood my ground and said, no, you're not coming. We were hanging out, and I remember the exact movie we were watching. We were watching Hotel Transylvania, because I actually like that movie, but now I'm traumatized by it because it just reminds me of like him. And he was like, oh, can I smoke in your balcony? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you want some? And I'm like, no, I'm good, because if you know me, you know I'm not a big smoker. Like, I really don't like smoking, just because I have like really bad anxiety and I overthink a lot, and it just heightens all of those emotions. He finished smoking, and we went into my room, and he was trying to like touch up on me, and I was just like, I'm not feeling it. And then I hear a knock. Who is here? So I get up, I go check in the peephole. The peephole is covered. And I'm like, what the hell? Somebody has their hand over it. So I go to my phone and I look at my sister's location, and she happened to be outside with the girls. Mind you, that night I was like, let me be like cute and let me stay in. And all my friends were outside that night. I should have been outside. Moral of the story, I should have been outside. The girl is still shaking ass, and I'm like, so who's behind this door? I'm very concerned at this point. So I'm like, not a lot of people know where we live, so that's very confusing. So I start like worrying, and I text my sister like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm at the club. And I'm like, okay. At this point it's like 12 a.m. so I'm like, who is behind this door? Like, whoever is behind this door is obviously like looking for something, someone. So I go back inside the room. He sees my face and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, somebody's knocking the door. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know who it is. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't know who it is. Like, they're covering the hole. He goes up to the door, he looks in it, and he obviously sees that they're covering the peephole. And they knock again. The person behind the door knocks again. And then the Marine goes, who is it? Nothing. So I'm standing there saying like, we have this strong ass Marine right here. He can fight off whoever is behind that door. This man right here, he don't play no games. Me thinking this, right? I try to open the first lock and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we gotta see who's behind the door. He's like, are you crazy? No. And I'm like, why are you acting like a pussy? You a whole grown ass man in the Marines, big bulky guy. Why are you acting like this?
I forgot to mention, I was scared, but a part of me felt like it was my sister's ex who was hiding behind that door, because like I said, not a lot of people knew where we lived. And I know that she was trying to ignore him that night, so he was probably just trying to see what she was up to, because she wasn't responding to his text. You know how toxicity goes. Also, I knew what he looked like, and I'm like, bro, the guy that's with me right now could definitely beat his ass. So I was not worried, but that's what I was thinking about in the moment, okay?
He's like, back up, back up. Who's behind this door? And I'm like, I don't know. I genuinely do not know. He's like, no, you know who's behind this door. Who is behind this door? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And then he's like, nah, you're not about to do this. You're not gonna do this to me. And I'm like, do what? There was a drawer near the door, basically. He opened it, and that happened to be our scissor drawer. So what does he do? He grabs a pair of scissors and he's like, back up, back up, back up. And I'm like, whoa, chill. I look back into the peephole, and all I see is like it's covered, then it's not, and I see somebody running. And they're in a hoodie.
And sure enough, my sister's ex fit the description. Short, stumpy, and fucking stupid.
I don't know who it was. And I'm like, they left. And then the Marine looks through the peephole and he notices there's no one there. So he's like, nah. What were you trying to do? What? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, why were you trying to open the door? He's like, who the fuck was that? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, no, you know who it was. You're trying to set me up. You're trying to set me up. And I'm like, what? Set you up? Set you up? Literally, what are you talking about? Like, I really want to know. I really want to know what you're thinking. So I'm like, I'm not trying to set you up. And he's like, who was that there? Who was it there? He's like, you're not about to do this to me. And mind you, this man is still holding the door. He's barricading the door with his body, like making sure nobody's getting in. So I'm like, and then he's like, I'm gonna call the cops. And I'm like, but they left already. And he's like, nah, you trying to set me up. They're gone, but at this point, get out of my apartment. He's like, nah, I'm not leaving until the cops come. I said, get the fuck out of my apartment right now. Because at this point, he was holding the scissors, barricading the door. He made up in his head that I'm trying to set him up. I have the scissors that he held himself. I did not touch them up until like a year after this whole incident because they traumatized me. But this is the pair of scissors that he had. Guys, this is the pair of scissors that he was holding. So he was full on like, back up, back up. Where are the cameras? Am I being punked? Where? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. He tells me like, go sit on the couch. And I'm like, this is my apartment. Get the fuck out of my apartment. He's like, sit your ass in the couch right now. He's like full on yelling. And he's on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, and he's like, yeah, somebody's trying to break into the apartment. And she's like, okay, where are you? And he's like telling her, he's like, what's the name of the apartments? And I'm sitting there like, so he has to go on his Google Maps and search up the name of the apartments. I end up sitting on the couch, and he sits next to me, and he's like, he's sitting on the couch, and he's like going back and forth and saying, you're not gonna set me up, you're not gonna set me up, and then I'm just like, I wasn't trying to set you up. Like, nobody's fucking trying to set you up. For what? For what? What do you don't got any money? Where are the chains? Where's the money? And then at this point, I was just aggravating him more. So what I was saying was not helping. I was just like getting him more upset. So I just calmed down, and I was like, okay, I now know there is literally a crazy man in my house, and he has a pair of scissors. This can really not end well. He sees me as a threat at this point. I'm like, I need to think about what I'm saying and how I'm acting. And then he starts shaking like this. Like, he's holding the scissors, and he's like, I don't know, getting like an anxiety attack or something. So that's when I like go over and I touch his back, and I'm like, it's okay. With this like demeanor, like, it's okay. And he goes, don't touch me. And I was like, I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die. My sister's gonna walk through that door, find me dead on this couch. And he was like, give me your phone. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you my phone. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, give me your phone. I give him my phone, and it happens to be locked, obviously. So then I walk to my bedroom, and he's like, where are you going? And I'm like, to my bed. I'm gonna go lay down and go to sleep. And he's like, okay. And then as soon as I get into my room, I get my iPad, and I start texting my sister like, help, he's crazy, he's trying to kill me. And then he comes in, and he's like, what are you doing? He tries to take my iPad. And I'm like fighting with him, like, leave me alone, leave me alone. And I'm like hugging the iPad so he won't take it. And then he like throws me onto the bed, gets on top of me, holds my hands down with one hand, and like takes the iPad away from me. And I'm like, oh my God. And mind you, this man was buff and big. So like, I would have never been able to fight him. He took it, I was like, it's locked anyways. So then I'm like, you're fucking crazy. And he goes to my living room, and I lock my bedroom door, and I get on my MacBook. I log in, and I'm trying to text my sister like, help, help, he's fucking crazy. And then I see on my MacBook that I'm already texting, meaning he is texting my sister through my iPad. So apparently I didn't close my iPad. I didn't lock it. He texted my sister something along the lines of, he caught us. He knows what we're doing. And I'm like, huh? So in his head, he thinks my sister and I were in on the setting him up thing. Setting him up for what? To this day, I don't know. And then I hear, and it's the cop. And I hear him start talking to the cop. I come out of my bedroom, and I'm like, I start crying, like, finally safety, finally somebody that can help me. I start crying and saying like, please sir, please, he's fucking crazy. He was holding me hostage.
At some point, I felt so unsafe that I would have rather waited outside in the hallways. So I was like, I'm leaving. And he was barricading the door once again and saying, you're not going anywhere. You're staying right here until the cops come. So I was being held hostage in my own apartment. That's why I said that.
He was threatening to stab me with a pair of scissors. Get him out of my apartment. Please get him out of my apartment. And like, this cop, it was just one cop, and he's like, ma'am, get back inside your room. And I'm like, excuse me. In the moment, I was very like, I felt disrespected. And then he keeps talking to the Marine guy, and obviously I didn't go back inside my room. I just stayed on the couch while he was talking to him by the door. A little bit of what I heard was just like, she's trying to set me up. And then the cop was like, why do you think she's trying to set you up? And he was like, because somebody was knocking the door and they were covering the peephole. And then the cop was like, but why do you think she was trying to set you up? And he's like, because I just feel it. And the cop's like, are you from Houston? And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, I know this happens a lot in Houston, but like, why do you think she's trying to set you up? Like, he really didn't have any reason why. He said he just felt it. So that's when the cop was like, come out to the hallway so I can speak to you. And then the door shuts and I lock it. I lock both locks and I'm like, fuck both of y'all can stay outside, I don't give a fuck. Like, the cop wasn't even trying to hear my side. Oh, also the cop did ask like, who lives here? And I'm like, I do, so get him out of here. And then the cop asked him like, do you live here? And he's like, no, I don't. And then like, it just felt like the cop was choosing his side. But I think the cop noticed the crazy in his eyes and like how his story was not sounding very well. So I think the cop was just trying to get him out of my apartment and maybe look like he was siding with him. So in retrospect, I do understand why the cop was acting like that, because he noticed like, this motherfucker's crazy. That's what I want to think. I don't know. But I lock both the doors, and then I hear the door knock and I come out and the cop's like, he needs to get his things. And I'm like, what does he need? I can get it for him. And he's like, his things. And I'm like, okay. I shut the door, I lock it, and I go and lay in my bed for a good 5 minutes. And then I come out with his bag. And he's like, I'm missing something. And I'm like, what are you missing? Oh, so-and-so. It was like a plate or something for weed, I don't know. And I go, oh, let me look for it. Shut the door, lay in bed for 5 minutes, come back, and I'm like, I can't find it. I guess he lost it. And then he's like, it's under the couch. So I go back and lay in bed for another 5 minutes and then come out and I hand him the plate and I'm like, you need to seek help. And then I shut the door. He just left. Yeah. I texted him, you're actually delusional to think I set you up when you asked to come over last minute. Please seek help with whatever anxiety you got going on. You grabbing those scissors and being aggressive was incredibly disrespectful. I was just as scared. I have no idea who's behind that door. You're such a mastermind. Please figure it out who it was and get back to me with that information. You have nothing of value for me to set you up. Do better. Because what was that setting you up for? When I tell you this man didn't have anything for me to steal. I did have a guy friend who used to be in the Marines as well, and he told me that which I don't know if it's true, but from what my guy friend told me, he said that when you're like training and stuff, that they teach you to not trust anyone. From his words, he told me, you literally cannot trust anyone. They teach you that like even a little kid walking could be holding a and can maybe have the not best intentions. So you literally cannot trust anyone. So I didn't remember this until after the situation, when I was reflecting on everything. He was fucked up in the head. He had been in the Marines for quite a while, so I'm assuming he saw a lot of crazy shit and he just has like PTSD or something. To this day, I don't know.
This is why I had to mention that story of when he thought that I poisoned his water. He never really fully trusted me, which I'm like, why would you even come over and hang out with me and like sleep over at my place in the first place?
That was one of the craziest moments of my entire life, because I genuinely thought I was going to die. It really hit me like I could be dead right now. He really could have killed me. He had this look in his eyes that I've only seen maybe that time. It's a look of crazy. I have obviously don't hang around crazy people, so this look really scared me. And it hit me when I tried to like console him, and I was like, it's okay. And he's like, don't touch me. And I saw his eyes. He looked insane. Like, that's the best way to explain it. He literally looked like there was like demons inside of him. And to that guy, it's a big you, because you really did traumatize me. Like, there was no need to do all that. I'm very honored that you think that I am that smart to like try to set somebody up. I really hope he went out to seek help, because the way he was acting was just so concerning, like for any guy to act, or for any person to be acting, you know, like I think that's kind of like schizophrenia, when you think people are like out to get you. I don't want to like misdiagnose him, but like at the same time, that was not normal.
I felt the need to tell this story because the way my life changed after this whole situation is actually insane. Put a lot of things into perspective about who I keep around me, who I surround myself with. And it was definitely a learning lesson. And I hope nobody else goes through this. But yeah, if you are young and turned, make sure you know who you're talking to.
Okay guys, that's it for my makeup. That is also it for today's story time. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe to be notified when I post a new video. That's it for today. Bye. Come back at 6, wake me and your child, and then won't lay today, make me wonder who